Hi everyone, have you ever thought about moving to Ancaster, Ontario? Well, in this video, we are going to talk about some things that might change your mind. That beautiful paradise that is part of Hamilton, very safe and amazing with wonderful nature. Well, guess what? There's not just flowers there, there's some stuff that may raise your eyebrows.
I'm Milena, and I'm a local real estate agent in Burlington, Ontario. The good news is that our team drops content every week about how is it to live in the Halton region and the whole GTA area. If this is your first time on our channel and you want to know everything about living here, subscribe below, tap the bell for notification, and you're going to be the first one to know about the current market. We help people like you and you and you. And if you need any help getting in touch with us, you can reach us via Zoom, text, email, whatever suits you. We are there for you and we are here to help you make that smooth move to our area.
So let's get started. If you watch my first video about Ancaster, you're gonna find a lot about the history, the ghost stories, what restaurants you can visit, shopping, and so on. Well, here I'm gonna be very brief about it because we are going to talk about what might push you away from Ancaster. So historically, it's very important place for Upper Canada. It was founded by the Europeans, so it was one of the largest European settlements here. Very charming. If you visit, you're gonna see what I'm talking about, especially the old town of Ancaster. And then industrially, it was just boom. And still until today's day, Ancaster is a very wealthy place. Well, eventually it was absorbed by Hamilton, but Hamilton is very affordable. On the other side, Ancaster is not that affordable. So people who are from this little town until today, they say, I'm not from Hamilton, I'm from Ancaster. They make sure you know that. So that must tell you something. And honestly, I met people who love it here, who moved and then they have to go somewhere else and they miss this environment. On the other side, I talk to people who actually think otherwise. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Number one, why Ancaster might not be for you. Because it's very expensive. As I mentioned earlier, Hamilton is very affordable. Here, it's not. So I'll share my screen and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Housing market, right? Housing market determines the lifestyle. This is the golf course that I talk in 2 videos about it because it's very famous and Canadian Open is held there every other year. Look at the houses around. Of course, golf courses always bring prices up, but this is very typical for the area, 2.789, so 2.8, let's say. And that's something very typical for Ancaster. Just keep in mind, okay, this is a beautiful home right by the golf course. The landscape is outstanding. The house itself is outstanding. So what else you can ask for? 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, very large square footage, by the way. It's not mentioned here, but it is. Nice amenities and so on. Here is another one for 2.5, and that's the usual price in this area. But what I wanted to tell you, this is not something unusual here. For Ancaster, the average detached home is 1.1 million. This is much more than Hamilton. And you can see more prices here around the city. Just to show you the borders of Ancaster, it's like a little triangle. Here's the golf course and the shopping is all around, but this website gives you better idea about the houses. So they're a little bit cheaper on this side. Anyways, that's for number 1, and we're gonna continue with the next why Ancaster might not be for you. Second one is the traffic congestion and limited public transportation. So Ancaster is still in the form of town. The infrastructure is definitely not like Hamilton, it's not as developed. So the main road is Wilson Road and everything is surrounded by big box stores. And that increases the congestion. So just imagine, in a rush hour how it's there. But I wanted to show you actually on a live stream real quick. This is right now, and that's not during rush hour, but you can tell that this Wilson Street just goes right in the middle, and there are the the Costco and the big shopping area here. It's like a huge trend of shops. And on the other side is the Tiffany Falls. So all this just creates a big congestion within this area, especially during rush hour. So that's one. And then when you put the limited public transportation, because that's definitely not Hamilton public transportation, it's much local. And in the previous video, I mentioned that for commuters, there are trains between Ancaster and Hamilton that kind of relieves the problem. And also another thing that they're coming up with is the bike paths. People love biking, so they do increasingly use them, but it's still not where it's supposed to be. So moving around the town, it's kind of a hassle. Number 3, entertainment. What kind of entertainment are we talking about? It's a small town. So if you're a person like me that it's craving something like concerts and theater or schmoozing around with people, well, Ancaster is definitely not for you. But if you like recreation and tranquil lifestyle, golfing, definitely for you. But keep in mind, there is not really much to do. Most of it is box stores, the restaurants that are affiliated with them. The food, it's not great because there is not really a diversity in this place. Yes, I mentioned a couple of good restaurants in my previous video that you may go and check, but in general, oh my gosh. Anyways, if you really want to have fun, you definitely need to get out of town. Go to Hamilton, Toronto, Niagara. But here, well, if somebody has something to say it now because there's really not much going on.
I hope I can capture the architecture here. Look at that. It's really mid-century. That's what I meant. It's on a corner of Olson Street and Wilson East. There are a lot of businesses here. I saw that there are restaurants as well. Super cute area, walkable. And only minutes away, if you walk down the street, not the street, the corner street, you're going to the golf course.
Next one is the seasonal tourism. That's really not a big deal, actually, because the town is small, but what it does is when people come to do more hikes or for the Ancaster Mill or for the ghost tours, they create more traffic. That's specifically in the summer when the weather is beautiful, but it's not that big of a deal if you don't care about it. So I just want to mention it just to keep it in mind, but it does happen in Ancaster. I want to mention it here between the topics that if you need any help finding a home in Ancaster, Burlington, Oakville, the surrounding areas, feel free to reach out. Our team will be gladly assisting you with that. The information is in the description below. I hope we can assist you as much as you need. So let's move on. And I would like to tell you something that might blow your mind. So the next topic is the crime rate in Ancaster. I'm sorry, it is funny because there's almost no crime in Ancaster, but it is part of Hamilton. So I was curious, like, how come Hamilton has pretty bad vibes in this area and Ancaster doesn't? And maybe that's why people in Ancaster make sure they mention that they're from here, not from city of Hamilton. Anyways, I don't want to dig into the politics, but let's look at the crime. There are a couple of sources. I do look into two. One is the area vibe and the other one is the crime map of Hamilton. But first, let's do the area map. So Ancaster Spring Valley, you see, it shows you that Wilson Street, that it's the major road in Ancaster, has liability score of 76. And if you look at Kirkendale and all here, it's much better. So what is it? Why this one has the score? That's why we're going to look at the crime map. So if you look at Hamilton map, there's lots of going. We're not going to dig into there because I have a video on it. Well, here is the Spring Valley that I mentioned. There's a lot of developments around. So maybe that's the reason. But the only one I found is motor vehicle burglary and one on this side too. So this is the major crime in Ancaster. Pretty funny, huh? So do you think you're gonna leave your door unlocked or you're gonna be watching behind your back living in Ancaster? Maybe not, right? So that's why it's good for families and kids. Enjoy until you can. That's all I'm saying. And now let's move on to what I found out. And some people might not like that I'm gonna mention that. I'm leaving the juicy details for the end because I want to formulate it in a way that it will be taken in a right way and at the same time help people who are moving to Ancaster. So basically, I did talk to a lot of people, also businesses, and I found out that there's some controversial issues that are happening in Ancaster. The community itself does not want to call themselves Hamiltonians. They are from Ancaster. They want to be from Ancaster, and that just show you the division just from the bat. And then businesses, some of them are happy to serve the local community, but some of them really struggle with the attitude that the locals show. And because Ancaster has been very isolated for a while, maybe that's the reason. Now more people are moving in, but you're gonna find that the place is not diverse. And that affects the food, the entertainment, the how people communicate with each other, all this, it's in effect. If you're looking for something more laid back and something that will hug you and help you out, maybe Ancaster is not for you. I don't want to say much because at the end, they're people and people, right? You don't want to put everybody in the same pot. Some neighborhoods may be more welcoming than others, but keep in mind that in general, it's an old town, so there is a lot of older infrastructure and older houses. That might be a problem for someone. At the same time, people want to move in because the area is expanding, so there's so many new builds like the Meadowlands. Oh my gosh, those huge houses on little land. It's a lot of cookie cutter. I don't know if you like that. There's it's just hard to navigate in neighborhoods like that there's like piles of construction. So besides the infrastructure, the new develops, the older homes, there is the attitude on the top. I don't want to even say what one owner mentioned as attitude because it's kind of offensive, but I guess lots of businesses are facing that. So I hope that was helpful because it does matter when you move somewhere and you want to know your neighbors and you want to be in the community with them. Please drive around, talk to people. That's the best thing to find out if the place is for you or not. And if you have something to share, please do. I would love to know more about your place. So this is it for me. Thank you so much for staying with me throughout the video. And if you need any help finding a house here or in Burlington, Hamilton in general, the whole GTA area, feel free to reach out. My information is in the description box below. I will be so happy to take you around and help you find the right place. Thank you so much for staying with me throughout the video. I hope it was helpful and I will see you on the next one.